Hello, and welcome to All Things Arab, your number one source for all things, everything Arab. Pilots have a bright future ahead of them. The sky's the limit for this career choice. This is especially true for Arab pilots, as the Middle Eastern aviation business is rapidly expanding. And as the region's aviation industry expands, so does the demand for qualified pilots. And the industry is anticipated to expand rapidly in the next few years. Some highly trained Arab pilots have been working their way through the field for years and years, laying the groundwork for others to follow. But let's have a look at some successful Arab pilots and hear their inspiring stories. And one way or another, these pilots have achieved what we all strive for: a successful career in their chosen sector. Waysam AlNasr. Waysam, the youngest Saudi to fly the A380, has also flown the A318, A319, A320, A330, and A330 cargo. Waysam grew up in Medina, Saudi Arabia's western area. One of 10 children, tragically lost both his father and mother when he was young, yet his loving uncle was his number one supporter, helping him reach all of his goals. In his late teens, he chose to become a pilot since it seemed like the ideal job. He began pursuing his passion immediately after graduating from high school. Waysam had already flown to over 100 countries and logged over 4,000 hours in the cockpit by the time he was 29 years old. Dawar. The Egyptian pilot was the first female pilot to fly the world's largest commercial airliner, the Airbus 380, from Dubai to Vienna and back. On International Women's Day, the captain flew into the skies, leading an all-female crew. Emirates Airlines announced the event with a 2-minute video on its YouTube account, which showed a preview of the magnificent journey. Captain Dawar is joined in the video by Emirati Captain Aliyah AlMuhirai. The event is a significant milestone that inspires younger ladies to chase their aspirations and thrive in splendor. Miriam AlMunsuri. The United Arab Emirates' first female jet pilot, AlMunsuri, led UAE airstrikes against militant groups while flying an F-16 Fighting Falcon. She was among the first female members of the United Arab Emirates Air Force. In an interview with CNN, AlMunsuri stated that she has always wanted to be a pilot ever since she was in high school, but she had to wait until women were allowed to join the Air Force. Before conquering gender norms, she received a bachelor's degree in English literature from the United Arab Emirates University and worked for the Army General Staff in several capacities. She is one of 8 children who claim that her family encouraged her to pursue her dream career. Princess Basma Boonie Ahmed. The princess is the second wife of Jordan's Prince Hamza bin Hussein. Her Royal Highness spent most of her upbringing in Canada, and she abandoned her studies in mathematics at the University of Western Ontario to pursue her interest in flying. Her Royal Highness returned to Jordan in 2005, where she trained with the Middle East Aviation Academy in Amman to become a flight instructor. Her Majesty was Jordan's first female to achieve a certificate in basic aerobatics. In November of 2011, Her Highness met Prince Hamza at the Dubai Air Show, who is a qualified rotor and fixed-wing aircraft pilot and is now her husband. Sheikha Moza bint Saeed bin Rashid. Sheikha Moza is the first Al Maktoum family royal to fly a commercial airliner. She is Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum's cherished niece. Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum is the Vice President and Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates, as well as the ruler of the Emirate of Dubai. Sheikha passed the CAE commercial test in April of 2016, and she has been chronicling some of her work by posting images of herself wearing the pilot outfit on her Instagram account. She also has a photo of Dubai's Crown Prince, Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid, and she was featured in the March 2018 issue of Vogue Arabia. Sheikha Moza is right to be proud of her accomplishments, as she should be, for defying traditional standards for women in royal families. Kareem Naef. The French-Tunisian captain pilot is one of the most well-known Arab pilots, now residing in the United Arab Emirates. Naef was the youngest co-pilot on an A320 in Tanzania at the age of 19. Working as a pilot was his childhood goal, and he is now living it to the fullest. Kareem first discovered his passion for photography when he purchased his first camera, and he quickly fell in love with architecture photography. That's when he learned he could shoot stunning photos from the cockpit. Kareem won the Best Architecture Shot for 2013, prize on the prominent photography and photo sharing website 500px, despite the fact that he only began taking photography professionally in 2010. His art quickly became viral on the internet, and the Daily Mail in the United Kingdom referred to his work as a quest to capture his daily routine through a series of surreal images that appear more like oil paintings than photographs, and convey exactly what it is like for pilots at 35,000 feet. Kareem was also the first to coin the term high-flying photography. Aliyah AlMuhirai, Emirates Airlines first officer since 2012. She has been shining ever since the Emirates Airlines ad campaign depicted her co-piloting the first all-American crew Airbus A380 on International Women's Day. Aliyah told Al Arabiya that she had support from her family and community, but that this was not always the case. At first, my mother was concerned for me, warning me that traveling alone would be tough. Others in my society claim that norms and traditions prohibited women from working in such sectors. But in the end, I had their full support, she stated. Similarly, she told Al Arabiya, thankfully my country, the United Arab Emirates, opened up options for women to pursue this industry, because aviation is clearly dominated by men. I wondered why I, as a woman, couldn't apply for the position. I'm on par with my male colleagues. Aliyah hopes to one day work as an aviation trainer, assisting the next generation of talented pilots. Aisha AlMunsuri. Aisha AlMunsuri made headlines in 2016 as the first Emirati woman to fly an A380, and she is rumored to have a brother and sister who are also involved in the flying field. Aisha was one of 2 female Emiratis in a classroom of over 500 men in 2007, forging a career in a typically male-dominated industry, which she describes as scary, but which did not break her spirit. She is currently the senior first officer or second in command to the pilot. Hazem Al Mansuri. Hazem Al Mansuri was the UAE's youngest F-16 fighter pilot and is now their first astronaut. He launched the UAE's first scientific mission to the International Space Station on September 25, 2019. The mission, dubbed Zayed's Ambition, made the UAE the 19th country on the globe and the first in the Arab area to travel to the International Space Station. He carried out 31 scientific experiments, 16 of which were carried out in collaboration with international space organizations such as Russia's Roscosmos, NASA, the European Space Agency, and Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency. As part of the MBRSC's Science and Space Initiative, 15 of these experiments involve schools in the UAE. Based on an agreement with Roscosmos, he began his training for the mission on September 3, 2018 at the Yuri Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center at Star City in Moscow. As part of the partnership agreements with major space agencies such as NASA, ESA, and JAXA, he also received training in Houston, Texas, and Cologne, Germany. The training program, designed expressly for the mission on September 25th, included a wide range of topics. These included briefing him on his scientific mission, comprehensive training on all sections and units of the ISS and how to use its devices and equipment, emergency fire drills, dealing with low pressure and ammonia leaks inside the station, and survival training if the capsule had to land in a cold forest. He completed more than 90 courses, totaling more than 1,400 hours of instruction. Hanari AlGhandour. She was the first Saudi woman to obtain a commercial pilot's license in 2005 and was in charge of flying Saudi Prince Al-Walid bin Talal around the world on his private plane, but she was finally allowed to fly in her native country in 2014. Finally, the General Authority of Civil Aviation gave her permission to fly in Saudi Arabia. Born in the holy city of Mecca in September 1978, the Saudi pilot says it was her father's ambition for her to become a pilot, and she couldn't have done it without his love and support. I remember one time at the Jeddah Corniche when I was younger, my father saw an airplane and said, "Would you like to be a pilot?" But I did not take him seriously. Then he told me if I wanted, he would help me accomplish it. And that is all we have for today, so we hope we have opened your eyes to a new, incredible world. If so, please remember to like and subscribe for more all things Arab. We hope to see you soon.